अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So we will continue with Bara Bhavna. Today we are going to start with Samar Bhavna. And the reason I told everybody to join 5 minutes earlier was I wanted to discuss, but now I have already decided, okay, that Soumya, we have done the markings, right?
Yes, sir, up to Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna.
Up to Bodhi Dulabh. So that is what you are displaying right now, right?
Yes, sir.
And that PDF you can share in the group also. So everyone have the marking. So we will not
Okay,
waste time after doing the marking, right? So I thought
okay.
you would be sharing yesterday. So
Mm.
no problem, but you share it now. So the numbers are already given. Okay, like take the case of Samvar Bhavna. So in Samvar Bhavna, there are 6 points to be discussed. Okay, the markings are already done. It begins from page number 115. You are at 129. Soumya? 115. The page you displayed is showing page number 129. So page number 115, PDF 123. Page 80 you have to go. See, this page 93 would be 80 and then page number 115. Yeah, further. Yes. Come to the last. One more page. Yes. Go ahead. Yes. So this is 114. Now the next page would be, acha, yours is one page earlier, but PDF would be same. So you have done it in the wrong place. This is not Samvar Bhavna's beginning, original beginning, the next beginning. Come to the next beginning. Go to page 115. 115, yes. So here it should come. Okay, you have done it there, but it should come here. I am the object of meditation. Okay. So before that, there is a transliteration which is missing here, which Soumya would add and then share in the group. Okay. So that is there earlier, but it has to be at that place. So just I will, so what I am suggesting is that the markings are already done. Okay. So I'll just highlight the points. So in that way, we can do the remaining 5 bhavna today itself. Or otherwise, we will go word by word, point wise, and then it will take another 2 hours next class. Okay. So would you prefer to attend class today evening?
I'm available, sir.
You are available. We are only 4 people.
Yes,
so,
sir.
so who is available? Who is not available?
Sir, today evening I will not be available. So tomorrow morning, maybe I will be available.
Okay. So we can do it tomorrow morning itself, just like last time. So that is what you prefer. Otherwise, you can read on your own. I'm just highlighting the points and I'm explaining the essence of each point. Okay.
Okay.
So in that way, if we do, then we can do all the 5 bhavna right now in 2 hours only. Okay. Because we have already marked the points, we have already done the correction, so everything is ready. Soumya will share the PDF. You have to just read through as a homework. So that is fine, or you want us to take tomorrow morning also class? I'm fine with both ways.
So class in the morning.
Okay. So tomorrow morning we will have class and we will complete tomorrow morning itself. So tomorrow morning again 6:30, right? Like last time. Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So then there is no problem. We will just do it 3 bhavnas today and 2 tomorrow. Okay.
Sir, I'm traveling, sir. So maybe I'll listen to the recording, sir.
Tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, like everyone would not be comfortable, that I can understand. Somebody, or we can do it next week also. I don't mind.
No, sir. Let's complete, sir, this week only because from next week we have exams.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So tomorrow morning is fine. Whoever can join will join. Otherwise, they will catch up on recording. Okay. So now this Samvar Bhavna, it begins from here. The transliteration, okay, you have already done it. Good. So you have done at the bottom of 115. It should be at the beginning of page 115. Yes. Samvar Bhavna ek Anushilan, then this will come, and then the I am the object of meditation. Okay. But I think you cannot change it this way, right?
So let me do it.
Yes. So this is a transliteration which was missing. We have inserted that. Okay. So I'm just reading the transliteration. Samvar Bhavna. So what is Samvar? Samvar means stoppage. Stoppage element. We have 7 fundamentals elements. Out of that, Samvar is stoppage of element. Okay. Stoppage element. So what is the function of Samvar? Samvar means the influx, the psychic influx of delusion, attachment, and aversion. When that stops, it is called stoppage element. So how that is going to stop? So that is going to stop only when you take shelter in your pure soul. That is the time you manifest the right belief, right knowledge, right conduct, and that is the time this stops. What stops? Delusions, attachments, and aversions. So basically, this is Samvar is a state which is only manifested when you take shelter in yourself. When you are taking shelter in outside external associations, then it is either attachments or aversions, right? But when you take shelter in yourself, the pure soul, the supreme soul, Bhagwan Atma, Trikali Dhruv, unchangeable, unchangeable at all times, unchangeable self at all times, Trikali Dhruv, right? So when you take shelter in that, that is the time you manifest passionlessness, that is the time you manifest pure modifications, okay? And that is only Samvar. So Samvar is the beginning of the path of liberation where you are manifesting pure modification by taking shelter in yourself. So somewhere means stoppage, okay? Some of it was mentioned here as restraint, but restraint is not restraint word we used for Gupti. Okay. So somewhere it would always be stoppage. So Soumya has done correction everywhere. But if somewhere it is still remaining, you just have to understand that wherever somewhere is used, you have to understand as stoppage. So the transliteration, मैं ध्येय हूँ, श्रद्धेय हूँ, मैं ज्ञेय हूँ, मैं ज्ञान हूँ, बस एक ज्ञायक भाव हूं, मैं स्वयं भगवान हूं। यह ज्ञान, यह श्रद्धान, बस यह साधना आराधना, बस यही संवर तत्व है, बस यही संवर भावना। Okay, so we are beginning with Samvar Bhavna, and in the initial words only, the author is, this is, of course, this is Bara Bhavana is written by Dr. Bharilji, and he explains here, I am the object of meditation, Dhyay, okay? Dhyay, so object of meditation, okay? Object of dhyan is Dhyay. Then worthy of devotion, that is Shraddhe. Then Gnay, the knowable, Gnay, whatever reflects in our knowledge are all knowables, Gnay. And the very embodiment of knowledge, okay? मैं ज्ञान हूं, okay? बस एक ज्ञायक भाव हूं, okay? So I think only first line has been explained. The next three lines are not explained. बस एक ज्ञायक भाव हूं. बस एक ज्ञायक भाव हूं means I am only a knower and not a doer, right? मैं स्वयं भगवान हूं. I am myself God. यह ज्ञान, यह श्रद्धान, this knowledge, this belief, बस यह साधना आराधना. Sadhana means practice and aradhana means worship. Okay. So this knowledge and this belief is itself the practice of the path of liberation, and that is itself the worship. Okay. How do you worship a pure soul? By manifesting right belief, right knowledge, right conduct. So this is the original puja. Ratnatraya is the original puja, you know. बस यही संवर तत्व है. This is only the stoppage element, and this is only stoppage contemplation. Okay. Stoppage of what? Stoppage of delusion, attachment, and aversion. That is psychic stoppage, and stoppage of influx of karma. Okay. Physical karma. That is called material stoppage. Okay. Dravya samvar and bhav samvar. Now we begin. Stoppage of influx of karma is stoppage element. Okay. This samvar, again you have to use everywhere stoppage. I don't have to repeat it again and again, you just understand it. This samvar is achieved through the three restraints. Okay. So now the first point about the samvar bhavana is its definition and its nature from the real point of view and from the conventional point of view. So what is it there for the real point of view? So from the real point of view, stoppage only occurs when you take shelter in your soul. Okay. So when you take shelter in your soul, the purity that you manifest is called samvar. Now that purity, you can say in terms of right belief, right knowledge, right conduct. That purity, you can say passionlessness, detachment. Okay. All these are synonymous of the stoppage element. Okay. It is also the time that you experience eternal bliss, extrasensory bliss, suprasensory, right? Atindriya Anand, suprasensory bliss. Okay. So that suprasensory bliss is the real stoppage of element. So this is from the real point of view. From the conventional point of view, engage in 6 external activities. What are these 6 external activities? 3 restraints, that is Gupti. Okay, that is what mentioned here. We are onto still 115 only. 15 only. So yeah. So 3 restraints, that is Gupti. Then 5 carefulness, not discipline, but carefulness. So that is called Samiti. So Samiti is sometimes mentioned as vigilance, 5 vigilance. Sometimes it is mentioned as 5 discipline, but the ideal word would be 5 carefulness. Because if you understand Samiti, it's the carefulness that has been exercised in each of the 5. Okay. Carefulness while walking, carefulness while eating, carefulness while putting Pichi Kamandal in place, carefulness while putting out the excretion. So everywhere it is carefulness, carefulness, carefulness. So from the conventional point of view, what is stoppage? So stoppage is achieved through 3 restraints, 5 carefulness, 10 virtues, okay, 10 lakshan dharma, uttam shama and all, supreme forgiveness and all. Then 12 reflections. We are already into 12 reflections only. And out of that, so Samvar Tattva is a vast subject, out of which Samvar Bhavana is one of the part. Because when we say Samvar Tattva, from the conventional point of view, 6 tools are there. So Gupti, Samiti, Dharma, Bhavana. Okay, Bara Bhavana. So Bara Bhavana is the 4th tool. And out of that Bara Bhavana, one of the Bhavana is Samvar Bhavana. So Samvar Bhavana is a very small part of the large picture of Samvar Tattva. That is one of the points coming up for discussion. So we'll take up that time, but still I've referred this. So 12 reflections, okay. Then conquest of 22 hardship. What is this hardship? Parisha, okay. And not only Parisha, but Parisha Jai. So that means you have conquered, you have won over that hardship, okay. So that hardship is called Parisha. It can also be used, different words could be used like for affliction or calamity, okay. And there is another word, upsarg. So what is the difference between upsarg and parisha? Upsarg is cruel tortures, brutal atrocities, okay. So cruel tortures, brutal atrocities. Sometimes it is also, affliction word is also used for upsarg, okay. But the ideal word would be cruel tortures. So what is the difference between upsarg and parisha? Soumya, tell me. Very basic.
Yes, sir.
You-
Sir,
you-
Upsarga is external and Parisha is in the way of life only, the general way. Upsarga
Okay.
is done by others, while
Ah,
Parisha.
the main point is upsarg is done by others. Okay. It could be an animal, it could be a human being. Mostly it's human and animals. Okay. But parisha is self-inflicted, right? During the winter, the monk would go near the river and meditate. During summer, he will go at the top of the mountain in the heat to meditate. Why? To test his endurance power. Okay. So parisha is something taken by the monk himself, and upsarg is something that has come because of the rise of some karma. Okay. So upsarg are man-made, parishas are natural calamities. Okay. So famine and sometimes uh, extreme hunger, extreme thirst. So all these are calamities, type of calamities, hardships. Okay. So this is the basic difference between parisha and upsarg. Okay. And the last part is 5 types of conduct, charitra. Okay. So these are the 6 tools from the conventional point of view. From the real point of view, there is only one part, and that is to express the purity by taking shelter in the pure soul, supreme soul, unchangeable at all times. Okay, unchangeable soul at all times. Trikali Dhruv, Bhagwan Atma. Okay. So these are the 6 tools. These are the cause of stoppage from the conventional point of view. From the real point of view, taking shelter in the self. Okay. The statement from the great Tattvat Sutra makes it absolutely clear that there is a cause and effect relationship between Samvar Bhavana and Samvar Tattva. Okay. Samvar Bhavana is the cause and Samvar Tattva is the action. Okay. Cause, effect. Okay. So to manifest Samvar Tattva, Samvar Bhavana is done. So objective of manifesting or contemplating Samvar Bhavana is to manifest stoppage element. Okay. So Samvar Bhavana is the cause and Samvar Tattva is the effect. Now the next line, if the cause and effect are reviewed with a perspective of oneness, then Samvar Bhavna and Samvar Tattva are realized as one and the same. Okay. So sometimes we discuss from the indivisible point of view, Abhed, and sometimes we distinct it. We make it different. Okay. So depending on the purpose. Okay. So here it is saying that if the cause and effect are viewed with a perspective of oneness. So if you are viewing it with a perspective of oneness, indivisible, then both are same. When we examine the entirety of the contemplation related to Samvar Bhavna, it is mostly observed that the reflection on Samvar and its causes has been carried out in an integrated manner without any sense of distinction. Okay. So from the conventional point of view, these 6 tools are mentioned. But having said that, this is conventional point of view. During the practice of each of these 6 tools, that is Gupti, Samiti, Dharma, Anupreksha, and Parishajay and Charitra. All this, during the practice of all these tools, what is from the real point of view? So the real point of view is to take shelter in the self. So now I hope clear from the real point of view what is stoppage element, and from the conventional point of view what is stoppage element. Okay. Now there are references from 3 different scriptures. The first one is from Pandit Jaichandji Chabda. Nischay Samvar Bhavna is nothing but immersion in one's true nature. Okay, taking shelter, taking immersion, concentrating on the self, focusing on the self, diluting in the self, all these are stoppage element only. Okay. From the perspective of Vyavhar, restraint from sinful action or stoppage from sinful action through Gupti, Samiti, Dharma, etc. is also referred as Samvar Bhavna. The next reference, those who through the next reference is of so this was Pandit Deepchandji, and the next one is Babu Jagmohan Das ji. Okay. Those who through the contemplation of knowledge and detachment withdraw their focus from mind, speech and body. So the active consciousness which was engaged in the activities of mind, speech and body, you have withdrawn your focus from them and become steady within themselves. Bound it inward, okay, towards the self, and then it becomes one with the pure soul, and the state of experience emerges. Okay, state of self-realization, state of self-experience that happens. Okay, so this is all about first point. Now you can catch up. It's still not over. Two paragraphs are there. You can read through. Okay. Coming on to the second point. So where it starts and where it ends. So here it ends, giver of bliss. Okay. So how many of you have taken printout? Anyone have ever taken a printout?
No, sir, not yet.
So this has already been marked here. So you will get this PDF from Soumya, okay? Soumya will share in the group and you will everyone get. So I am not waiting for the marking, okay? So now we straightway move on to the second point, Soumya. Second point is keep in mind that Samvar is the cessation of Asrav. Asrav means influx. Stoppage is the cessation. Cessation is again stoppage only, okay? Stoppage of influx. Stoppage of influx is stoppage element, okay? Samvar is stoppage of influx. Now, what is influx? So influx again is delusion, attachments and aversion, and stoppage of delusion, attachment and aversion is Samvar, okay? The meaning here is that samvar is a state, a condition, a modification that emerges due to the complete absence of asrav. This point has already been made clear in the beginning. Okay. So in the second point, they want to highlight that what is samvar. So samvar is the absence of influx. Okay. Thus it is clear that asrav and samvar are mutually opposite states, because asrav is full of suffering, whereas samvar is full of bliss. Asrav is a cause of suffering, while samvar is a cause of happiness. For this reason, samvar is the adversary and negator of asrav. It is a valiant, noble warrior who arises by eliminating asrav. So here samvar has been referred to as a noble warrior. Okay. So this is only the beginning of the path of liberation with samvar. Okay. So it's called a noble warrior who arises by eliminating asrav. So asrav is the enemy and noble warrior is the samvar. A bestower of infinite bliss, worthy of reverence, deserving of praise, adorned in the attire of samvar in variation of samyak gyan. So what is this samyak gyan? Samyak gyan is also samvar. Samyak darshan is also samvar. Okay, and samyak charitra is also samvar. Okay, so these are all samvar's different ways of expressing things. So this is all about the second point. Moving on to the third point. What is the difference between samvar element and samvar bhavna? Okay, this is the third point. So the question has been raised. You can read it out. When in the available contemplation on samvar bhavna, most of the reflection has taken samvar tattva and samvar bhavna as one, then why not consider both as the same? So now, if you consider as one, from the gross point of view, it is same. But from the subtle point of view, there is a huge difference. Now, what is the difference? I just explained you briefly in the beginning itself, while discussing the 6 tools or conventional tools of samvar. Okay. Gupti, Samiti, Dharma, Anupreksha, Parishajay and Charitra. So out of that, Bara Bhavna is there one of the tools. So Samvar Tattva is a very vast subject. Out of that, Samvar Bhavna is only a small part of Samvar Tattva. Because Samvar Tattva also includes Gupti, Samiti, Das Dharma, then Parishajay and Charitra. All the 6 tools, right? Out of this, Samvar Bhavna is one of the 12 Bhavna. So it's a very small part. So that is the difference between Samvar and Samvar Bhavna. Okay. Samvar Bhavna is one of the causes of Samvar. Okay. But Samvar includes many other things like Gupti, Samiti, Das Dharma, Parishajay and Charitra. So this is the third point. Somebody can read from the answer. Okay, Malti ji, you read.
Yeah, this is not correct because doing so would make the subject matter of contemplation on Samvar Bhavna extremely broad, encompassing the entire path of liberation, that is the moksha marg, within its scope. It should be noted that Samvar Bhavna is merely one among the many causes of Samvar. In the analysis of Samvar Tattva, a detailed exposition can be made on all the causes of Samvar, as has been done in texts like the Tattvarth Sutra and others. However, in Samvar Bhavna, an extensive discussion of all these causes would undoubtedly exceed its defined scope. Among the causes of Samvar are the 3 Guptis, the 5 Samitis, the 10 virtues, the 12 reflections, the conquest of 22 hardships, that is Parishya, and the 5 types of conduct, Charitra. Additionally, right faith, Samyak Darshan, and right knowledge, Samyak Gyan, are also either causes of samvar or forms of samvar itself. In this way, the entire path to liberation is encompassed in the discussion of samvar. However, does samvar bhavana include contemplation of on all aspects? No, absolutely not. The contemplation of samvar bhavana has its own limitations. If this were not acknowledged, then the entire contemplation related to the path of liberation would be encompassed within a single samvar bhavana. It should be noted that among the causes of samvar, along with Gupti, Samiti, and Dharm, the 12 bhavanas are also included. If that were the case, then all the remaining 11 bhavanas would be subsumed within samvar bhavana itself, leaving no scope for their independent existence, something that would not be appropriate in any way. Thus, it is clear that in the contemplation of samvar bhavana, it is not intended to delve into the detailed expansion of the causes of samvar. Rather, their brief mention is sufficient. A similar approach can also be observed in the available literature on the 12 bhavanas.
Stop. So this is the end of third point. So now you understood that Samvar Bhavana is one of the part of Samvar Tattva. Okay. Now the next point on the Samvar Tattva, fourth point, it is about discriminative knowledge and self-experience. What is Samvar? What is Samvar exactly? It is the discriminative knowledge and self-realization, भेद विज्ञान और आत्मानुभूति की मुख्यता. So the major part of the Samvar's discussion is the discriminative knowledge, because without discriminative knowledge, the Samvar never arises. Okay. Beginning of the Samvar is with discriminative knowledge, भेद विज्ञान. And the other thing is that this भेद विज्ञान leads to self-realization. So among the causes, the beginning of the path of liberation begins with this stoppage element, and this stoppage element means you have to practice discriminative knowledge and self-realization. Okay, so that is the fourth point. Okay, so now we will read this fourth point. Soumya, you read.
Sir, Soumya this side.
Yeah.
In the contemplation process of Samvar Bhavana, the primary focus is on Bhed Vigyan, discriminative knowledge, and Atmanubhuti, self-experience, rather than delving into the detailed classifications of Gupti, Samiti, and other such distinctions. This is evident from the following references. जिन पुण्य पाप नहीं कीना आत्म अनुभव चित दीना तिन्ही विधि आवत रोके संवर लहि सुख अवलोके. Those who have not engaged in ashram in the form of punya and pap, but have instead directed their minds towards the experience of the Atman, they alone have obstructed the incoming dravya karmas. In this way, by the absence of dravyashram and bhavashram, those who have attained dravya samvar and bhav samvar, they alone have witnessed bliss, that is, they have attained true happiness. In the mentioned chand, Atmanubhav itself has been referred to as samvar. The experience of the self, Atmanubhav, or the contemplation of self-experience is the true samvar bhavna. Atmanubhav occurs through Bhed Vigyan, discriminative knowledge. Therefore, along with self-experience, the contemplation of Bhed Vigyan is also deeply integrated into samvar bhavna and should be undertaken with special focus. Acharya Amritchand goes so far as to say, the direct realization of the pure self, Shuddhatma Tattva itself is samvar, and the realization of the pure self occurs only through Bhed Vigyan. Therefore, this Bhed Vigyan is highly worthy of being deeply contemplated. And furthermore, all jivas who have ever attained the state of the Siddha have done so only through Bhed Vigyan, discriminative knowledge. Conversely, those beings who remain bound in sansar, entangled by karma, are so only due to the absence of this Bhed Vigyan.
Stop. So you see only two things, discriminative knowledge and self-realization is what is Samvar Bhavana. Okay. So practice of those is again a Samvar Bhavana. Realizing of those is again a Samvar Bhavana. So Samvar Bhavana is not only contemplation, but it also include self-realization. There are further discussions on this and further references are given that you can read through. Now we are moving on to the fifth point, second last point, and it is again putting more emphasis on the discriminative knowledge. Okay, so in terms of discriminative knowledge, which are the two parties, Himali?
Sabhed and Vigyan. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
so
asking?
which are the two parties?
Two parties.
Yes, discriminative knowledge, discrimination you have to do. If you are doing discrimination, there has to be two things, right?
So right belief, is that what you're asking? I don't understand, sir, the
No,
question.
no. So discrimination, discriminative knowledge means Bhed Vigyan, right?
Correct.
Bhed Vigyan. So it's a knowledge, right?
Yes, sir.
What kind of knowledge? Where you are able to distinguish between the two,
Correct.
right? So what are the two things that we want to distinguish between? What are the two parties? So one is self and
And
everything else is
is not
non-self.
self.
So we have only two parties. So there is no complication. First you establish the self, that is myself. Everything else is non-self. Okay. So now this non-self category, we can begin with external associations. Okay. Like my house, my wealth, my car, my possession, whatever are all external association. Then our body is again an external association, non-self.
Yes.
Okay. All the five substances apart from the soul are non-self.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all the souls apart from me are non-self for me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Body is non-self for me.
Yes.
Karma is non-self for me.
Non-self. Yes, sir.
Then impure dispositions like auspicious, inauspicious sentiments, then all kinds of passions, right? These
Yes.
are all impure dispositions. These are also non-self category. Okay.
Yes.
Moving further, pure disposition, right belief, right knowledge, right conduct. That is also non-self or not?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Non-self.
Why?
So because that is not a part of the soul.
Then it is outside the soul? Yes, that is not a part of the pure soul.
Pure soul.
Because pure soul is eternal and these dispositions are momentary.
Right.
Right? So they are only for one moment. Okay.
Yes.
Their life cycle, their lifespan is one moment.
Sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
So this pure disposition is also out of the domain of the pure soul. Okay. Because it's a disposition, it's a modification. Then going further, we are just exploring the non-self element. Okay.
Yes.
Going further, psychic activity. Psychic activity we can include in non-self. Psychic activity is vikalp.
Yes, sir.
Now tomorrow I have to go to Delhi to attend a meeting. Okay. Just you got a call that tomorrow you have to reach here. The director is calling you and you have booking you have decided to go to Delhi, right?
Yes.
So this is called vikalp. And then following through that particular thought or psychic activity called vikalp is the thought process. Now you have to book the ticket, you have to pack the bag, you have to whatever you have to prepare for that all will be a thought process. Okay. So this psychic activity called vikalp is also non-self. Then the thoughts, the vichar, these are also non-self. Okay. So now you have explored the whole universe of non-self, starting from the external associations, then to body, then to karma, then to impure disposition, then to pure dispositions, then psychic activity vikalp, and then the last one is the vichar, thoughts. Okay. So this is from gross to subtle. We have discussed everything in the non-self element. Apart from that, I am the pure soul. Okay, so when we practice discriminative knowledge, we have only two parties. One is self. Everything else is non-self. Even if you define it or not defining it, it's all non-self. We have no third category. Okay, so discriminate between the self and the non-self. Okay, so this point number 5th is about that only. So in the point 4th also we discussed discriminative knowledge, but here we have put in more emphasis on discriminative knowledge because that is going to help us to realize ourself. Okay, so you distinguish between the two and then you establish oneness with one, right?
Yes.
And that is self-realization.
Right.
Okay, very clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it will take still 5 minutes, but I would like to go through these readings. Okay, so 5th point we can read once. Himali, you only read it.
Okay, sir. Ved Vigyan is not merely the knowledge of distinction between two entities. True Ved Vigyan is the discrimination of the entire universe composed of 6 substances into 2 categories, Swa and Par. Swa is self, Par is others, and the establishment of oneself with the Swa distinct from the Par.
So par means non-self. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Anitya, Asaran, Asharan, Asuchi, and non-sentient body is indeed Par. Moreover, even the impure asrav bhavs in the form of moh, rag, dvesh that arise from within one's soul are also Par, non-self. Not just the non-sentient body and the auspicious, inauspicious states, punya and pap, but if we dwell deeper into contemplation, even the samvar, nirjara, and moksha-oriented vitrag bhav, shuddha bhav, which arise within the soul due to its association, are within the domain of par, as they are mere modifications.
Stop. So this due to its association, this has to be cancelled. Okay. This is a wrong interpretation. Which arise within the soul. Okay, it is arising within the soul. Just you are taking shelter in your soul, then it is arising. Otherwise, it doesn't arise. It doesn't arise due to any external association. It only arises when you take shelter in your soul. So due to its association has to be deleted. Nothing else. Are within the domain of per. Why? Because as they are mere modification, they are momentary and I am eternal. Okay. Self is eternal. This are modifications and modifications are momentary. So they are non-self. They are into non-self category. Okay. Now you continue.
The swa is that which is distinct from both par and paryay. It is the soul, immutable Atma Tattva, whose nature.
Immutable means what? Unchangeable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trikali.
Trikali Dhruv.
Yeah.
Okay. Soul means ek matra. Only one. Right? Soul here means one. Okay. It is the soul, immutable, unchangeable Atma Tattva, whose nature is pure knowledge and bliss. Jnananand Swabhav. Okay, carry on.
Whose nature is pure and bliss. Jnananand Swabhav.
Pure knowledge and bliss.
Yeah, pure knowledge and bliss. The pure states of Samyak Darshan, Gyan, Charitra, which constitute the path to liberation, are also not the ultimate object of focus. They, reverence, Shraddhe. We need to change this, no, sir?
No, it's okay. Focus, reverence, Shraddhe, supreme knowable object, Param Gne.
Param Gne, or worship, Arad.
Why? Again, my question, why? Samyak Darshan, Gyan, Charitra, which constitute the path of liberation, are also not the ultimate object of focus. Why?
So
Because
because we
those
are
are,
only the knower of this, no?
huh?
Because we are only the knower of also these things.
No. Why it is also not the ultimate object of focus?
So because it keeps changing, right?
It keeps
Have
on
right
changing. They are momentary. They are momentary. So one which is already momentary, how can you take shelter in that? So it is not the ultimate object of focus. Although it is worth manifesting. It is worth manifesting. But it is not worth taking shelter in. Right?
Hmm.
प्रकट करने योग्य उपादेय, बट आश्रय करने योग्य उपादेय नहीं है. Got it?
Yes, sir.
That now continue.
Sir,
Hmm.
I understand that, we constantly keep changing. Right now there's right belief. Probably there'll be a little bit of wrong belief at some point, and it's constantly changing.
Hmm.
Then, sir, how do we say that, now that we've studied this course, in some births we will attain moksha if this right belief is not truly ingrained?
Hmm.
Then, so how do we say that we are going to, over the next few lifetimes, have this right belief?
So see, from time immemorial, what kind of belief you had?
That we, that I'm the body, I'm not,
From time immemorial, we had wrong belief.
wrong belief, yeah.
Right? Now, by understanding the scriptures, we are changing the belief system.
Right.
So we thought that we are this body, our wealth is mine itself, right? We all thought this, but it never happened such, right?
Right.
So now we are just changing the belief that I am the pure soul, I am only the observer and not the doer. Whatever the body functions are happening, what are the mind, speech, and body activities happening, all these are happening like a robo. Okay. As we have robo in hotels now, they just serve the clients, right? Just like a waiter. Similarly, this body has been programmed and it is performing certain functions throughout the day. And we feel that I am doing it, right? But it is not. I am the only pure soul, just a knower and nothing else, right? So these pure states are also not the ultimate object of focus. That is what here it is mentioning. So just now we explored the universe of non-self. Okay. So in that we included impure disposition, and then the next was pure disposition. So this has come here, pure disposition. Okay.
Okay. So maybe I'll call you. I still didn't. I understood that this is not a this is par because it's a bhav that keeps changing. But then, sir, if it keeps changing, how is it going to stay with us over lifetimes? Is what I'm asking.
So we are not chasing that states, no, because we are the king. I am the pure soul, I am the king, and all these will come and go on in their own moment, right? So I am not that entity, right? So during from time immemorial, there were impure modifications happening. Now it is the pure modification that is happening. But what difference does it make to me? As an observer, I am still the same entity. The same entity which was in Nigod, which was in hell, the same entity is here and the same entity will be there in the liberation. So, as an entity, I don't change. Only the modification were impure earlier, now it is pure and impure, and going forward, once I get liberated, it will be only pure. But still it will be momentary. It will keep on changing, changing, changing. And I am establishing myself as the immutable, unchangeable, pure soul. Okay. So if you established your identity as Swa, Dhruv, unchangeable, pure soul, supreme soul, then what difference does it make? Right? Whether it is a pure modification or an impure modification, whether you are here in this human life or you are getting liberated, right? Even if we get liberated, nothing will increase in the pure soul. And even if we were in hell, nothing less, not something didn't go away from our soul, right? We are the same soul. So you have to take the belief system to that level where you are identifying yourself as a pure soul, unchangeable, observer, knower, and not doer. So this is the time that you established yourself, your proper identification. Who are you? So you are the pure soul, devoid of external associations, devoid of body, devoid of karma, devoid of impure disposition, devoid of pure disposition, devoid of psychic activity, devoid of thoughts, everything non-self.
Yes, sir, I understand now.
Okay, so this strength you have to develop.
Right.
In every situation, you have to have, you are the one party, right? In discriminative knowledge, there are two parties. So one party is yourself and everything else is non-self, right?
Yes.
So in the non-self category, whether it is body or it is karma or it is impure disposition or it is pure disposition or it is thoughts, doesn't matter. It is all one category only, non-self.
Correct.
But apart from that non-self, I am the self. This is where you need to put your weightage on.
Right.
So in every situation, whatever you encounter in your life, there will be two options, right? One is our self, the other is the non-self, right? So you have to choose. You have to choose. Oh, I am the self. So when you put yourself into the self perspective, then you are only an observer. You are not a doer.
Correct, sir.
But when you choose yourself to be a body, then you become a doer. When you choose yourself to be a impure disposition, then you become a doer. Because oneness, mindness, doership, and enjoyship, all four goes hand in hand simultaneously. Right?
Yes, sir.
And this is what delusion is all about.
Correct.
Now to remove that delusion, you have to have this belief that you are the pure soul and only observer. Okay, this much is the path of liberation.
Correct.
So if you are establishing that in the first place, then everything else will fall in its place. Because after all, it is all non-self category. So whether something happening this way or that way doesn't matter, because it is all non-self. Whether you are able to remember these words or not doesn't matter, because it's all under non-self. Whether you are getting 50 out of 50 or you are getting 30 out of 50 doesn't matter, because it's all in the non-self category happening according to our past impressions, according to our past karmas, right? So all these are playing roles in that non-self category itself. But as far as the self category is concerned, there are no changes, right? You are the pure soul, supreme soul, unchangeable soul. And that is where you have to connect in every moment with that identity, that you are this. So once you establish oneness with that, then you see things different from you, no? In
Yes.
different perspectives.
Correct.
So whether it is an impure disposition, doesn't matter, because it is momentary. Next moment, pure will come. Doesn't matter, right? Because I am not that identity.
Correct.
It doesn't matter because I am not that identity.
Yes.
So there is no pressure to bring something, and there is no pressure to remove something. Because there is no way we can do that, because we are an observer. So once you establish yourself an observer, then you just have to know. No, as in the TV screen, you switch on the TV and you just keep knowing, no?
Yes, sir.
If there is a flood there, what you do? You take away your leg above the floor? No,
No, sir.
because it's on the TV screen. It's not coming to me.
Correct.
If it is a fire, doesn't make difference, because the fire is not coming into me. So you are just relaxed and watching the TV. And
Right.
similarly, we are also watching TV 24 hours, 365 a day, and from time immemorial to time infinite, we are an observer.
Hmm.
Different channels coming up on its own, different scenes coming up on its own, but for us, it doesn't make a difference. Okay. So we have discussed at length swa and par in our own way, but if you read the words, it's the same thing that is being depicted. Okay. So this is for your homework. Okay. Now I'm moving on to the last point. Okay. The last point is the conclusion, where in conclusion, the author takes us to this conclusion that in all what you have to do, you have to remove your active consciousness from all external objects and turn it towards yourself, okay, towards your pure soul. And once you do that, then only the Samvar Tattva emerges. Okay. So the conclusion, the whole reading, the whole study is only for one purpose, that from time immemorial we have this tendency to look outside for happiness. Now we have understood that happiness lies within. So our active consciousness, which is engaged in the sensual pleasures and other objects of desire from time to time, we have to practice this to take that active consciousness from there and transform it towards the self. Now this strength will come from contemplations. Contemplation means analysis, right? So the sixth point is also marked. You can read it once, okay? If you don't understand it, we will again connect for extra class, okay? Even tomorrow we will be finishing the course, but next week again we will connect, and I would like to each one of you to work for single bhavna. And I had already given this homework. In my other batch, everyone has opted one bhavna. So there are 15 students in all. So 12 have opted for each bhavna. Okay. So similarly, I also had given an offer here in the group, but I know everyone is busy. So I'm not forcing anyone. But if you have any questions, we can discuss one-to-one anytime. Otherwise, we will have one more revision class next week. Okay. So there also we can discuss. So you read this. This is homework. Sixth point is your homework. I have given you the conclusion, what is to be done. And that is what is being expressed in the sixth point. Now moving on to the next one. Nirjara Bhavana. Dissociation of bondage. Okay. So there again, the points are marked. It is on page number 128. This is 129. 128. Yes, this is from here it begins. Wherever it is written, no, ek anushilan, there the new point starts. Okay. The first reference, of course, it is from Dr. Bharilji. And then, of course, we have from Panchastikai Sangra one reference. Okay. What is Nirjara? Dissociation of bondage. Right. So the journey, the spiritual journey, the path of liberation begin with somewhere, stoppage. So first part was stoppage. Now, with that stoppage, the origin of purity has happened. Okay. The purity has started. Earlier, there was no purity. It was all impure, impure, impure only. But when you took shelter in yourself, okay, that is the time you originated the purity of modification. Okay. Pure modification first time arose when you took shelter in yourself, you realize yourself. Okay. And with self-realization came the eternal bliss, the self-experience, and the purity started. Now, that purity with practice of discriminative knowledge, this purity keeps on increasing. So, this increase in purity is called nirjara, dissociation. The more the purity increases, the more the karmas are dissociated automatically. Right? It is not that the soul picks up the karmas, and throws it away. No. Soul's job is to concentrate on the self. While concentrating on the self, you are not making any new bondages. At the same time, you are dissociating the old bondages. Okay. Now, dissociation of old karmas is happening in the karma itself, right? How the soul can do it? Okay. So from the positive side, from the soul's side, soul is only concentrating on the self. Okay. So now concentrating on the self means tap, austerities. Okay. Austerities. So we have 12 austerities that we discussed in Chedala. Okay. Can anybody share the chart if it is very handy? I have the book in the other room. I thought I will be taking that book. But okay, nevertheless, so that 12 austerities are there. We don't want to name it now because we all know the names of the 12 austerities. So Samvar had got 6 tools. In Nirjara, one tool has been added, and that is austerities. 12 types of austerities. These are all 12 conventional types of austerities. So what is austerities from the real point of view? Can anyone give me a good answer? What is austerities from the real point of view?
Sir, it will be complete immersion in the self.
Yes, complete immersion in the self. Okay. So the purity that originated with Samvar is now constantly increasing. Constant progression has been happening. Okay. As in time and again you practice. Now there is a situation in your life where you are supposed to express anger, whatnot, right? Now, in that same situation, if you are able to analyze the whole thing, the anger will not rise. So you have to develop that skill of analysis, right? Why anger arises, because you have desired something and it is not happening, so there is an anger. ठीक नहीं किया, तुमने ये काम ठीक नहीं किया. You are scolding the servant because he has not done it. So these are the 6 internal and external austerities. 6 external and 6 internal. So this is internal. Okay. Some equanimity. And what is the external? It will be before that. First the external is
Before
there.
this, where it said fasting, eating less.
So this will be right. It's there. No. So this is samiti. Leave it. Carefulness. Next. No. Don't go further there. So I think external
I think
6. And where are the other 6? No problem. This is just the names. Anshan, Aumodarya. Yeah, I think.
Tap tapein dwadas dharein vrishdas. So these are the 6
So
external
this is the external. See extra. Total fasting, partial fasting, food restriction, and 6 internal austerities. Thank you so much, Soumya. So these are the 12 austerities. Okay. So apart from Samvar, there were 6 tools. This has been added. What is added? Tap, austerities. Okay. 6 internal, 6 external, but all the 12 are conventional austerities. The real point of view austerities is what Soumya said, immersion in the self, nothing else. Okay. So the moment you immerse in yourself, that is the time you manifest maximum nirjara. Okay. Maximum dissociation of karma, constant progression, increase in purity. Okay. So nirjara is equal to samvar plus tap. Correct? Samvar, already 6 tools were there, plus tap. Now what happens, with this tap, the desire does not arise only because you have been immersed in yourself. Your active consciousness is engaged in the self, right? So there is no other external activities happening that point of time because active consciousness engages in one object at a time, right? Either it is engaging, supposing it is engaging in par, then it is not engaging in swa. If it is engaging in swa, it is not engaging in par, right? It will be engaged in only in one place. That is the limitations of सेंसरी एंड स्क्रिप्चरल नॉलेज। मति श्रुत ज्ञान उपयोग लगता है तो एक समय में एक जगह लगता है। नाउ दैट एक्टिव कॉन्शियसनेस इज कंसंट्रेटिंग ऑन द सेल्फ, सो दिस इज तप, you are immersed in self. Okay, so when you are immersed in self, tons and tons of karmas are offloaded automatically. This is the power of immersion in the self. Okay, power of dissociation of karma, nirjara. Okay, power of concentration, power of focus. Okay, so this nirjara is of two types: material dissociation and psychic dissociation, bhav nirjara and dravya nirjara. Okay, now that dravya nirjara is of two types: savipak and avipak. Sa means with, vipak means fruit. With fruit is savipak, avipak is without giving fruits. So savipak is mature karma's disintegration. Nirjara is what? Disintegration of karma. So it is of two types. Okay, dravya nirjara and bhav nirjara. Dravya nirjara is material dissociation and bhav nirjara is psychic dissociation. Now this material dissociation is again of two types: mature karma's disintegration and premature disintegration of karma. Now Hemali, tell me which one is better, premature disintegration of karma or mature karma's disintegration? Which one is better?
So both of them, but premature maybe is better.
Because premature you are not suffering, na?
Yeah, it doesn't come into fruition at all.
It doesn't come into fruition, right? So it is a vipak. Okay, so that only the wise ones have it. Okay, so ignorant cannot have this premature disintegration of karma. Ignorant being has to face the fruits of those karmas. Okay, but savipak nirjara is happening all the time to all the human beings. Your earlier karmas is into the rise, and because of the rise of that karma, you are having certain things in your life. You are experiencing the fruits of that karmas. Okay, so mature karmas disintegration is happening to all the beings of this universe. This is a very natural phenomena. But avipak nirjara, premature disintegration of karma without giving fruits, is happening to the wise one, the right believer. Okay. Now coming on to psychic dissociation, bhav nirjara. What is this bhav nirjara? Bhav nirjara is the constant increase in purity. Okay, that is called bhav nirjara. It is again of two types: sakam and akam. Sakam is voluntary dissociation of karma. Okay, that means with your effort, you are voluntarily dissociating the karmas. Sakam nirjara. And akam nirjara, involuntary dissociation of karma, which is happening all the time to all the beings. Okay. So in a way, sakam and avipak are synonymous. Akam and savipak are synonymous. But distinction has been made just because one is material dissociation, another one is a psychic dissociation. Okay, this has been explained by Pandit, not sorry Pandit, but Brahmachari Kalpana Ben in Vitrag Vigyan Vivechika Guide. Okay, I will tell you the page number so you can refer, because this Dravya Nirjara and Bhav Nirjara, many of the scholars don't agree with the distinctions. Okay, this Sakam and Akam and Avipak and Savipak, they feel that it is all the same. So in Vitrag Vigyan Vivechika, Kalpana Ben has defined this, the Sakam and Akam as divisions of Bhav Nirjara and Avipak and Savipak as division of Dravya Nirjara. Page number 32. Okay, those who want to refer, I have given a reference. Everywhere else, I don't get this distinction apart from this book. Okay, so this is also I'm mentioning. Whether it is distinction is true or correct, it's immaterial. Now we are understanding that there is something dissociation happening all the time when you are connected to your soul, when you are immersed in your soul, when you are focused in your soul all the time. Okay, so this is happening. So this is the first point on Nirjara Bhavna. Okay, the marking has already been done, so I'm not wasting time after that. Okay, so we have seen that the Nirjara is of two types, material and psychic. Material is again of two types, mature karma's disintegration and premature disintegration of karma. Then psychic dissociation is again of two types, sakam and akam, voluntary dissociation of karma and involuntary dissociation of karma. Okay. Now again, I am not satisfied with the definitions. This is definitions have been taken from Creed by Gosalia's dictionary. Otherwise, people are not discriminating between the akam nirjara and Savipak Nirjara. They feel they are synonymous. Okay. But so this will be at a psychic level difference. Okay. So this is what constitutes the first point. The
So,
second point is about the austerities, 12 types of austerities. Okay. So, yeah.
so how does involuntary dissociation of karma happen?
So involuntary is happening all the time. It can happen in two ways. One is when you are enduring that suffering.
Okay.
Without any objection, if somebody is torturing you, you are still managing it. You are not complaining to anybody. Okay.
Right.
Sahan karna, jisko bolte hain sahan karna, right?
So like
So
Todamalji told the elephant that it's okay, you do your job.
yes, like that. So
Okay.
that is akam nirjara. Okay. Involuntary dissociation of karma. Okay. That means there are no efforts in that anybody can do, right? Akam nirjara. That is not used, that is not of any use in the path of liberation. But if you are winning over that, right? Winning over that means that you are in the situation is very adverse. Of course, the situation demands that you manifest passions, but you are not manifesting passion with the power of discriminative knowledge.
Okay.
That is called voluntary dissociation of karma, and that is useful in the path of liberation. Because akam we have done many a times. Many a times we have endured the sufferings, but that has not helped us, right? Here is winning over it with the help of discriminative knowledge. That is what it matters. Okay. So second point on dissociation of bondage, Nirjara Bhavna, is about the 12 austerities. Okay. So second point starts where it is in your book. Yeah. Among the causes, we can read one paragraph and we can carry forward. Among the causes of Nirjara, apart from the causes of Samvar. So apart from the causes of Samvar is 6 causes. Okay. 12 types of tapas, austerities have been specifically enumerated. And that all 12 are mentioned in Chaidala that we just saw now. Okay. This same point is also evident in the Tatvat Sutra through the Sutra Tapsa Nirjara Sa. Among the available, not Sa, sorry. Among the available 12 bhavnas, there is a special emphasis on the discussion of tapas, whereas the discussion of the causes of samvar, such as Gupti, Samiti, etc., is almost negligible. So in Nirjara, we have discussion on the tapas, which is extra to samvar. Okay. So this is all about this second point. So 12 austerities are discussed, although it is not discussed in detail, but these austerities are a cause of one of the major causes of nirjara. Okay, where you are just concentrating on the self, you are immersed in the self, you are not doing any external activity at that point of time. Okay, So from Samvar, we have moved to Nirjara. Okay. From origin of the purity to increase of purity. Now, every moment the purity is increasing. So while the purity is increasing, the impurities are decreasing. Okay. That is how we transform from the first level of passion goes off in the 4th stage. Then in the 5th stage, the second quadruplet of passion also goes away. Then in the 6th, 7th stage, right, the 3rd level also goes off, right? And then in the 12th stage, the 4th level also goes off. And in the 13th stage, you have complete conduct. Okay, 12th stage, of course, you have Vitrakta in 12th stage, complete conduct, 12th stage. Okay, so this is how it happens. The soul is immersed in itself, and on the outside, all these things are happening. The purity is increasing, it keeps on increasing, and at some point, there is complete purity, and complete impurity has been wiped out. So this is moksha. Okay, so this is the second point. Okay, the third point is in Nirjara Bhavana. So in Asra Bhavana, we had seen that in Asra Bhavana, influx element was included, bondage element was included, auspicious and inauspicious elements were also included. So similarly in Nirjara Bhavana, the liberation element has been included because there is no separate liberation element. Okay, Asrav is separate, Samvar is separate, and Nirjara is separate, right? So in Nirjara, moksha is also included because Nirjara leads to moksha. The increase in purity leads to complete purity. Okay, so this is the third point in Nirjara Bhavana, that moksha Bhavana is also included in the Nirjara Bhavana. There is no separate Bhavana for liberation. Okay, so there is one correction. I think Soumya, you have done it for the in the second point, and then third. So this is the third point. Okay, so third point is okay. It's about the same thing. There is no corrections here. Whatever we have done is done. Okay, so I'll just read the last part of the third point. There is only one fixed moksha marg. Where are you? Yeah, here. There is only one fixed moksha marg. Moksha marg is path of liberation. That is right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, consisting of right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. The Purusha, striving soul, who remains firmly in that moksha marg, the path to liberation based on the pure self, who constantly meditates on that, is aware of that experience, experiences that, and without coming into contact with other dravyas, substances, remains continuously abiding in that alone. He certainly attains the ever awakening Samaisar, pure self. Okay, Samaisar means pure soul, pure self. Okay, the essence of the soul in a short time. So this is the reference has been given from Samaisar, where Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev, I think in the last 1 minute, I'll just let you know which verse it is. So if you want to refer, yeah, it's in the 412. So Samaisar consists of 415 verse. So this has been referred from 412 verse, where Acharya Kunkundev in his scripture Samaisar says, O Atman, it slightly go up. O Atman, yes. Something more. Go further up. Yeah. Further. O Atman. O Atman, this is 412 verse from Sem3 Sar. O Atman, establish yourself in the moksha marg, path of liberation. Experience only that. Don't do any other thing. Our primary, like ultimate objective is to immerse in self, right? So who is stopping us from immersing in self? Soumya, who is stopping us? We know the object, that we know that we are pure soul and we want to immerse in that. What is stopping us from immersing in ourselves? For that matter, what is stopping us? Who is stopping say Tirthankar Rishabh Dev from immersing in self? Why is ruling over the kingdom for 83 lakh Purvas? Who is stopping from immersing in himself? Who is stopping
Sir,
us?
sir, our own moh or agyan bhav.
Yes, the karmas and
Karmas.
from the positive side, if you say, we are not putting in that level of efforts. Okay. So whenever we want to speak from the effort, we will say, always say that we are not putting it that level of effort that is required to immerse in self. And from the other perspective, from the negative side, we will say the rise of karma doesn't allow us to immerse in ourselves, right? So all these things are being said from the positive point of view and the negative point of view. So here Acharya Kunkun Dev is advising us, establish yourself. So first part is establishing yourself, who you are. Okay. Establishing yourself means identifying yourself, then establishing yourself in the path of liberation. Experience only that, nothing else. Meditate only on that and abide continuously in that alone. Do not dwell in other dravyas. Do not dwell in other dravyas. Don't look at other dravyas, right? Do not dwell in other dravyas. The essence is that the only truly worthy objects of engagement, delight, realization, contemplation, and abidance are the samvar and nirjara tattvas, which themselves constitute the path to liberation. Okay. So this is all about the third point, that the path of liberation, the liberation element is also included in the nirjara element. Okay. Now the fourth point. So fourth point is again very interesting. It is from Sem3 Sar only. So at some place it is being said that the focus on yourself. Okay. And at some places it is being said that you engage in right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. So why it is being said in two ways? So the Acharya Kunkun Dev and Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev explains that there are two aspects to each thing. One is a real point of view, and one is from the conventional point of view. So from the real point of view, we said that you concentrate on yourself. Okay. And from the conventional point of view, we said that you engage in right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. But it means the same. Okay. Only there is a difference in expression, but the meaning of both is same. Okay. So that is being explained in the fourth point. Yeah. So the fourth point we will read completely, so we will understand it nicely. So fourth point, who is left? Rekha, you read.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
At this point, a question may arise. In the Samvar Bhavna, it is said that the pure dispositions, Nirmal Bhav, which take the form of the Moksha Marga, comprising Samyak Darshan, Gyan Charitra, right, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, are neither to be meditated upon. They nor revered, Shraddhe, nor ultimately knowable, Paramagyane, nor to be worshipped, Aradhya. That which alone is Aradhya is the Atma, the invisible whole akhand pind of infinite attributes, the self-natured consciousness. That is the true Nijatma Tattva, the intrinsic nature of one's own soul. And here it is being said, establish yourself in the moksha marg, experience only that, meditate only upon that, abide constantly in that alone, do not dwell in other dravyas, substances. Brother, there is no contradiction in the two statement. The bhav, essence of both is the same. In this context, the following gatha was the Samasar is worthy of reflection. Sadhu Purushas.
So Sadhu Purushas here doesn't mean monk. Sadhu Purusha means here gentleman or a noble household. Bhadra Grahas. Okay. Yeah, continue.
Constantly engage in the practice of darshan, gyan, charitra, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Because from the standpoint of Nischay, the ultimate standpoint, know all three to be none other than the Atma, the self. In truth, the point is that the two statements differ merely in expression, one from Nischay, absolute, and the other from Vyavahar, the practical standpoint. There is not even the slightest difference in actual practice. For the very name of Atma worship is Darshan Gyan Charitra. Therefore, whether one says worship the Atma or engage in the practice of Darshan Gyan and Charitra, it is one and the same. While writing the commentary on aforementioned Gatha, Acharya Amrit Chandra clarifies this point as follows. This Atma, in whatever bhav, disposition, it is both the sadhya, the goal, and the sadhana, the means, is worthy of being constantly engaged within the very bhav. Thus, having considered this himself, he explains to others through the lens of Vyavahar, the conventional point of view, that a sadhu purush should always engage in the practice of darshan gyan charitra. However, from the standpoint of Paramatma, ultimate view, all three are in fact one Atma alone, because they are not separate from the Atma. Therefore, it is self-evident that it is one Atma alone that is worthy of being engaged with.
So ultimate view means real point of view. Okay. So from the conventional point of view, three things are being said. From the real point of view, only one thing is being said. So there is only a change in expression, but it means the same. Okay. Goal is sadhya and means is sadhan. Okay. Tools are the means from which we will get to the goal. Okay. Sadhya and sadhan. So sadhya and sadhan, I'll just discuss in few moments. Let's complete this and then I will again come back to that sadhya and sadhan. In Acharya Amrit Chandra's above statement.
In Acharya Amrit Chandra's about statement, one point especially deserves attention, that the Gnani-jan, wise ones, while themselves contemplating that the one Atma alone in every way is ever worthy of being engaged with, explain this very point to others by saying that Gyan Darshan Charitra alone is always to be practiced. Due to not being able to grasp the inner intent of this statement, some people begin to wonder, what kind of thing is this? Does even the path of liberation involve something like the elephant has different teeth for eating and different ones for display? Do the acharyas consider only the one Atma to be worthy of engagement for themselves, while instructing others to practice Darshan Gyan Charitra?
Take it further up, Soumya. Yeah, thank you.
But the matter is not so. For what is called engagement with the Atma from Nishchayane, the perspective of the real or the ultimate truth, that everything is referred to as the engagement with Darshan, Gyan, Charitra from the Vyavharne, the perspective of practical or conventional truth. The distinction arises only because one's own realization is expressed in terms of Nishchay, while the instruction to others is conveyed through Vyavhar. At the root, there is no real difference between the two statements. They express the same truth.
Stop. Now I'll just explain you. So there are two things. One is the goal and one is the means. Okay. Goal, say, supposing if I say goal is liberation, then what would be the means? Quick answer.
So to immerse in the self.
So we immerse in the self.
Okay.
Gyan
So
darshan.
here it is said that moksha marga, path of liberation. Okay. Path of liberation is samyak darshan, samyak gyan, samyak charita, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. So if I say the goal to be liberation, then the means would be the path of liberation. Okay. Now that means we can further divide into right belief, right knowledge, right conduct. Now you come to right belief. So right belief again is by practicing discriminative knowledge. You can also say that after having right belief, right knowledge, you need to immerse in self. So all these are correct answers. Okay. Now, so this goal, if I consider this goal as to become Aryant and Siddh, okay, then the means would be 4th stage to 12th stage. Okay. If I consider only the Siddha Dasha, liberated soul, as the goal, then the means would be 4th stage to 14th stage, because that is the path of liberation. Okay. In Aryant, we considered 4th to 12th, and in liberated soul, we considered 4th to 14th. Why difference? Because Aryant happens in the 13th stage. So before the 13th, it is all means. 4th to 12 is means. Okay. And in liberated soul, 4th to 14th is the means. Okay. So the goal is to emerge in self. But while the means would be to get in and out. Okay. Because if we are constantly in for 48 minutes, we manifest omniscient knowledge. Okay. So just now there was a discussion that why we are not immersing in ourself. Because immersing in ourself for 48 constantly minutes, okay, you manifest omniscience knowledge. Okay. But that can happen, and that will definitely happen, but with practice. So that practice, you cannot at a householder level, the concentration is very little. Okay. But as you go further up with more practice, you try to renounce things which are not required for you. So keep on renouncing and you keep on focusing on yourself more. Okay. So your spiritual stages goes up. So from 4th you go to 5th, then from 5th you become a monk. That is the 6th and 7th stage. And while becoming monk, if you are able to concentrate on yourself the most of the time, it is 7th only, 7 onwards. Okay. So 7 onwards, all the stages are of deep introspective meditation. Okay. 7th stage itself is meditation, and above 7, all the stages above 7 are also deep introspective meditation. Okay. So 8th also is meditation. Then 9th is also meditation. So on one hand, you are immersed in yourself, and gradually your purity, internal purity is increasing. So purity is increasing, the stages are going up. So from 7th to 8th, 8th to 9th, 9th to 10th, similarly, you will achieve the 13th, 14th, and you will get liberated. Okay. But before that, okay, the moment you are not able to completely engrossed in yourself, then what happens? You come out in auspicious sentiments, and then again you go to the pure sentiments. Auspicious, pure, this keeps on happening from 6th, 7th onwards. Okay. Before 6th, inauspicious is also there, auspicious is also there, and pure is also there. Fifth stage is a better stage than the 4th one. In the 4th stage, auspicious and inauspicious is of more category. Okay. Because there you have not renounced sin at any level. But in the 5th stage, you have partial renouncement of sins. Okay. So you have partial woes to observe. Okay. So it happens like this. Spiritual development, gradual development, it keeps on happening. On the one hand, you are just focusing to immerse in yourself. So this whole process is called means. Okay. From the 4th to the 14th is all means. And the goal is only to get liberated. So this is the whole path of liberation. So the Acharya is concluding here one line that I would like to highlight. Uh, mm, Therefore, the conclusion, slightly further up, the conclusion of all this discussion, the goals and the means, okay? Further up, no, not that side, other side. We are coming to the end. Yes. Therefore, there is no difference.
Page 136.
136, right. Second paragraph. Yeah. Therefore, there is no difference in essence between the sentiments expressed in the two statements. To be established on the path of liberation is nothing other than self-realization in action. Self-realization in action. Okay. Atma Shraddha, faith in the self, Atma Gyan, knowledge of the self, and Atma Dhyan, meditation on the self. It is not something apart from this. Okay. So either the expression is being made from two ways, one from the real point of view and one from the conventional point of view. You either do it this way or that way, but concentrate on yourself. That is the ultimate instructions that is coming up here in Nirjara Bhavana. Okay. So this is called Nirjara Bhavana. Now coming on to the last one, Lok Bhavana. There are only 4 points. Very simple Lok Bhavana, and that also I'm going to explain you within 15-20 minutes. Lok Bhavana. So this Lok Bhavana, the subject matter of Lok Bhavana is, first of all, the first point. There are 4 points. So the first point discusses the definition of Lok. So what is Lok? Okay. Lok means the universe. So what is the universe? So the universe is the divisions and subdivisions of all the 6 substances is what constitutes the universe. Okay. So this is from the conventional point of view. The first definition from the conventional point of view is the 6 substance universe is the Lok. Okay. The second point in the conventional point is the geographical description of the Lok. You know, Adolok, Madhya Lok, Urdholok, upper world, middle world, and the lower world. Okay. That is also a part of the contemplation of Lok Bhavana. Okay. Contemplation about the universe is the Lok Bhavana. So these are the 2 definitions from the conventional point of view. From the real point of view, what is the Lok? Chaitanya Lok. Okay. Our own soul entity is the Chaitanya Lok, and that is the real Lok from the real point of view. Okay. So from the real point of view, what is Lok Bhavana? To concentrate, to contemplate on the self. Okay. To contemplate on the self conscious element. Nij Chaitanya Lok. Okay. So that is the real point of view, the definition of Lok Bhavana. The contemplation about the 6 substances is done to to divert your attention from those six substances and concentrate on the self. Similarly, the geographical descriptions, the hell, the heaven, everything is just discussed to make you aware that if you do such things, you will end up in hell. If you do good things, you will end up in heaven. But if you concentrate on yourself, you will get liberated. Okay. So if you want to get rid of all this worldly existence, then you concentrate on the self. Okay. Then in the point number 2, there is a comprehensive definition given by Pandit Mangat Rai ji. Okay. So first we will read the point number 1, the scope of Lok Bhavna, page number 140. The scope of Lok Bhavna, reflection on the universe, is very vast. Among the 489 verses of the Kartikenu Preksha, okay, Lok Bhavna and Dharma Bhavna occupy the largest portion. From Anitya Bhavna to Nirjara Bhavna, the total number of verses for the 9 Bhavna is 114, whereas Lok Bhavna alone encompasses 169. Okay, so Lok Bhavna is 169 and Dharma Bhavna is 189. Okay, so these are the two. This is being referred from the Kartikenu Preksha. In Lok Bhavna, along with the detailed nature and classification of the 6 substances, the geographical structure of the universe, okay, is also included. In this way, we observe that this Bhavna encompasses all subject matters related to the cosmic structure as described in the scriptural tradition of the Jinas. In a way, it covers the entire subject matter of scriptures like Dravya Sangra, Panchastikai Sangra, and Triloksar. So these are the 3 scriptures. Dravya Sangra we already had a study. Okay. Panchastikai Sangra is written by Kunkundacharya Dev, and Triloksar is written by Acharya Nemi Chandra Siddhant Chakravarti. Okay. So these 3 scriptures discusses about the universe. Okay. So this was the first point. Now the second point, where Pandit Mangat Rai ji is explaining this Lok Bhavna. Page number 142. In the aforementioned Chand. Bas. Slightly. 142. Right, here. 2. In the aforementioned Chand, that is verse, all aspects of the Lok have been presented. Its shape, nature, location, position, independence, uncreatedness, and its beginningless and endless existence. Alongside this, the root cause of soul's transmigration, namely the notion of doership, Kartutva Buddhi. Okay, so it is not only Kartutva Buddhi but also oneness, mindness, enjoyership, all coming together. Okay, and the age-old tendency to assign the blame of its self-created misdeed onto others has also been illuminated. In conclusion, a sacred inspiration is offered to abandon all hopes from the world, destroy deluding karma, deluding karma, and become firmly established in one's eternal self. One's eternal self, that is Trikali Dhruv Bhagwan Atma. Okay. Unchangeable self, one's eternal, unchangeable, supreme soul. The essence is that by doing so, one attains the state of liberation, thus reinforcing the inspiration with a promise of the highest goal. So this is the second point. The third point is that after knowing the universe, we have to remove our focus that is active consciousness, from the external world and turn it towards inward, towards our own self soul. That is what is discussed in the third point. Okay. The only means to eliminate false perception. False perception will be false belief. Okay. False belief, namely false faith, mithya darshan, false knowledge, and false conduct, mithya charitra, is to behold one's own atma. Okay. Behold means to look at one's own soul. Okay. To examine one's own soul, to focus on one's own soul. For truly beholding, realizing, knowing, and meditating upon the Atma, own soul, is itself called right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. The true culmination of contemplating Lok Bhavana is to withdraw one's gaze from the world. Okay. From time immemorial, we have been gazing at the external world for our own happiness, but there is no happiness over there. Okay. So to withdraw one's gaze from the world after knowing it and become established in the divine self, Nij Bhagwan Atma. This is precisely why the core focus of Lok Bhavana contemplation has always been to inspire devotion towards one's own divine soul, distinct from the Sat Dravyamai Lok, the universe composed of 6 substances. Okay. So in this universe, I am one of the entities. Okay. But for myself, I am the only entity. There is nothing else that I should gaze at to find my own happiness. I am full of happiness, and if I focus and gaze at myself, realize myself, immerse in me, then I will experience eternal bliss all the time. So this was the third point. Now the fourth point, the conclusion. Yes. What it says. So whatever contemplation that we do in terms of removing our gaze from the external world and turning it inwards towards ourselves is all about Lok Bhavana. Okay. So the Lok Bhavana's contemplation has got a wide application because the universe is so large. Sometimes we are focusing on something, then sometimes something else. So we keep on changing the object of focus of ours since time immemorial. Now here Acharya Dev is telling us to focus on one thing, that is ourself. Remove your gaze from all the external things and concentrate it on the self. Okay. These all types of contemplation is called Lok Bhavana. Okay. But the focus should be to practice discriminative knowledge and detachment. Practice discriminative knowledge and detachment from the external world. So in the fourth point, concluding point, then what is the essence of Lok Bhavana? That you identify your own Chaitanya Lok, your soul. Your soul is your own Chaitanya Lok. You identify it and then you immerse in that. That is all what is referred in the concluding fourth point. We will read it once. Okay, fourth point. So more or less everything is covered in that fourth point. Jia, you are left. You read.
Yes, sir. In this way, we see that if we delve into the expanse of the subject matter of Lok Bhavana, once
Ah.
yeah. In this way, we see that if we delve into the expanse of the subject matter of Lok Bhavana, contemplation on the cosmos, it essentially encompasses the entirety of the Lokalok, universe, and beyond. Everything that has been stated in the Janagma becomes included within it. This implies that in relation to the complete subject matter expounded in the Janagam, all inward directed contemplation performed by self experienced saints and knowledgeable Shravaks, lay followers, is indeed contemplation rooted in Lokanupreksha. However, it is essential that the direction of such contemplation be based on
You know,
discrimination.
Jia, how a newsreader reads the news, you know? You read in that manner. Just
Okay.
try.
Yeah. However, it is essential that the direction of such contemplation be based on discriminative insights, Bhed Vigyan, and be an inspiration towards detachment, Vairagya. After the discussion on Nerup Samyogas, associative phenomena as objects of knowledge, Heyarup Punya Pap Ashravs, meritorious and demeritorious passions as rejectable, and Uped, I'm not able to read this.
Upadhyay Roop Samvar Nirjara.
Upadhyay Rup Samvar Nirjara, restraint and dissociation
So
as
restraint will be stoppage. Samvar is always stoppage. Okay.
stoppage and dissociation as worthy of attainment, the contemplation in Loka Bhavana turns to reflect what is the place of the Atma, in whose mirror of knowledge the entire universe is reflected within the cosmos, and who truly is the Atma. This contemplation is undertaken. The contemplation on the universe, done primarily from the perspective of the true self and with the purpose of awakening the most intense yearning for it, is what is called Loka Bhavana. Since the nature of bhavnas, contemplative reflections, and the process of their contemplation are not analytical or descriptive, but instead meant to inspire detachment and direct one inwards towards the self. In the context of Loka Bhavana, the term Lok has also been interpreted to mean Atma, that self within which the entire universe is illuminated, is the Chaitanya Lok, the conscious universe. Interpretations of the word Lok in this way have also been given.
So here the Lok is being interpreted as Atma. Okay, interpreted to mean Atma, soul itself. That self, Atma, within which the entire universe is illuminated. Okay, so when we manifest omniscience knowledge, the entire universe is illuminated. Is the Chaitanya Lok. It has this capacity to illuminate the entire universe. Okay, the conscious universe. Interpretation of the word Lok in this way have also been given. Continue.
In the Bhagavati Aradhana, this understanding has been carefully established as follows. Although the term lok refers to many things, in this context, the word lok refers specifically to the jiva dravya. How so? Because in this context, the exposition pertains to the sequential development of the soul's dharma, intrinsic qualities and activities. Even the lok can have many meanings, referring to various types of realms or worlds. Here, it specifically signifies jiva dravya, the soul substance, because the discussion is centered around the soul's dharmic evolution. In
Brihad
Hridaya
Dravya Sangra. Brihad Dravya Sangya.
Yat Dravya Sangra, after elaborating the concept of Vyavad Lok Bhavna, conventional contemplation on the universe, across 31 pages, the nature of Nischay Lok Bhavna, absolute contemplation on the universe, is ultimately clarified in the following manner. Just as the reflections appear in a mirror, likewise in the completely pure Keval Jnana of the Supreme Soul, who is beginningless, endless, and of a singular pure knowing nature, all pure substances, including the pure soul, are perceived, illuminated, and known. For this reason, that very self is called the Nischay Lok, the universe from the standpoint of the real self, or rather the act of perceiving within the Nischay Lok, form of one's pure self, is itself Nischay Lok. And that contemplation, born of the reflection on the pure self, after renouncing all auspicious and inauspicious thoughts and imaginations, which result in the experience of the supreme nectar of bliss, that blissful realization alone is, in the true sense, Lok Bhavna from the Nishchay absolute standpoint. All else is only Vyavhar. In this way, it becomes certain that the extensive analysis of the nature, structure, and various forms of the universe and of entities like the soul, etc., as undertaken in Lok Bhavna, pertains only to the realm of conventional truth, Vyavhar. The real world, Nishchay Lok, is nothing but the conscious realm, Chaitanya Lok. To dwell in that conscious realm and to cultivate the most intense longing to do so is the true essence of Nishchay Lok Bhavna, because the ultimate purpose of contemplating the universe through Lok Bhavna is to give rise to an effective inspiration for self realization. Therefore, all those who seek the self, after understanding the sixth dravya, should immerse themselves in their own conscious realm, experience the state, and become supremely blissful. By engaging in the sacred contemplation, they find peace.
Therefore, all those who seek the self, okay, after understanding the six dravya, six substances of the world, should immerse themselves in their own conscious realm. That is your own soul. Experience the state and become supremely blissful. So, if you want to become happy, it is so simple, okay? But if you don't choose to be happy, then there are many things in this universe will keep you engaged all the time, okay? And our this valuable human life will come to an end, because we are all come with a fixed span of life, okay? We are not going to be there, even we cannot extend this stay by a moment, okay? That is absolute truth across all. But still, we are indulging in such activities which we don't have any purpose. Okay. Here Acharya Dev is saying us, in each of the contemplation, if you have observed, the one thing that is coming very common, emerging very common, is that by hook or crook, Acharya wants us to transform our active consciousness, which have been engaging in external association from time immemorial, okay, from beginningless time, to take that active consciousness, uh, transform it inwards towards the self, okay. So from different perspective, the glorification of the self is being done. At the same time, from different perspective, why we should renounce these external objects, why we should not focus on these external objects, that also is being highlighted every now and then. So the object is, by understanding the non-self nature very clearly and by understanding the self nature very clearly, the idea is to concentrate on the self, okay, and that is only going to bring us happiness, right? Everything else is just one way or the other way of suffering, okay. So if you want to come out of this transmigration of this universe, then you have to identify your soul. And once you have established the identification, the next step would be to immerse in that. That's all. Samjho or samajao. Okay. Samjho means understand the nature of soul, and then immersed, engrossed yourself in the soul. That is the only way to become permanently happy, not temporary happy, right? Today, if you are getting some wealth by luck, okay, of course you are getting by luck only. If you are getting some wealth by luck, you feel happy. And tomorrow that wealth goes away, you become sad, right? But this happiness that we are talking about, it is eternal, it is everlasting, it's not going to go away, okay? So better make efforts in that direction, which is going to be a permanent solution for us. Okay. Else all solutions that we are doing are all temporary. Okay. But the permanent solution is you you develop the skill. Okay. You develop the skill to focus on yourself. Come what may be the situation, you are independent to take your active consciousness towards yourself. Okay. Nobody is stopping you. No karma can stop us. Okay. So the more we practice, the more we'll be expert. And the more we will be an expert, we will be able to connect, to disconnect, we will be able to detach from the external things and connect with the self. So this skill we will gradually develop as we read, as we learn different principles, we learn different tricks, how to discriminate between the self and the non-self. Okay. And with this power of discrimination, we will gradually be able to increase our internal purity, and a time will come when we will be able to manifest 100% internal purity, and that is the time we will get liberated. Okay. So from starting to end, only one thing we need to do is to identify ourselves. That is the first step. And then immerse in ourselves. That is the second point. Okay. So such is the shortest way to become happy. All else, the world, whatever the world depicts as a tool for happiness, is not the real happiness. These are all temporary associated happiness. And the moment there is a rise of sin, all these things are not useful for us in any way. And a time will come when we will leave this body and go away, and we will take birth in another body according to the deeds that we have done in this life. Okay. So the one who has understood these principles, the one who who have practiced this science of discrimination, will be able to remain engrossed in self, and it will those people will transcend this ocean of life and death and get liberated, and that will be a permanent solution. So these contemplations, 12 contemplations, are 12 different ways of practicing discriminative knowledge. Okay. Each contemplation is giving us a perspective to practice. Okay. So so far we have covered 10 contemplations. Okay. And your CC3, right? CC3 I will give tomorrow itself after the class, and that you will given 21 days time, where you are supposed to write the sequential sequential development of spiritual progress. Okay. Through the help of this 12 contemplations, and each contemplations you have to write 4 or 5 points. Okay. So we have explained in detail in classes. You can refer to for these 5 points, just like bullet points, one line each. That is only enough. And you can make it creative as much as you want. There is no limitations on that. So there is enough scope for you to dwell deep within yourself, understand this principle, and write some creative writing for yourself. Okay. Because next time when you pick up this book of Bara Bhavna, you will not have to read the whole book, because you have these highlighted points at one place. And by reading these 5-6 pages, you can connect to the whole essence of 12 contemplations. Okay. So that is the idea of giving you this homework of CC3, and that will be released tomorrow. And from tomorrow onwards, 21 days will be given to complete that. But in meantime, you keep on reading this, not read for the purpose of exam, but read it for for making it a part of our daily life, so that whatever situations, adverse situations comes in our life, we are able to navigate those situations with the help of these 12 contemplations. Okay. And once you form a habit of winning over this kind of adverse situation, it will bring in a sense of inner satisfaction on the one hand, and on the other hand, your life itself will become blissful. Okay, no tension, no depression, no anxiety, no worries, nothing. Because as a soul, we are only an observer and not doer. Okay, so there is no way that we should experience sufferings, but because of ignorance, because of delusion, that has been the story so far. But now we are putting on these efforts, and this effort is going to yield you excellent results going forward. Already we could see the changes. You have already been in touch with Jinwani for 1.5 years. So with continuous studies, things will all become very clear in your knowledge, and you will be able to focus on yourself the way you want. Okay. So this is the independence that each and every soul carries, and this is what we have to exercise. So with this note, we end for today. Tomorrow morning, 6:30, two bhavnas are remaining. Hardly, if you tell me no, within 5 minutes, I can explain you these two bhavnas. In Bodhi Durlabh Bhavna, we have 4 points, and in Dharma Bhavna, we have, of course, 8 points. So we can cover up. It's all repetitions only. Now today we have covered 3 bhavnas very fast, but if you read it once, everything will be clear to you now. But still, if you find any difficulties, you are always welcome to ask me. Next week also, we will have one lecture for questions only if you have any questions. And if you say that you don't have any questions, then we will not have any class. But even if you have a class, there will not be any recording. It will just be a question answer sessions to clarify your doubts, if any. So next week. But tomorrow morning, India time 6:30, we are again connecting to complete the remaining 2 bhavnas.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, for Lok Bhavna, what
Mhm.
would be the English title? Can I say two worlds, gazing inwards and understanding the outer?
So the inward part, they don't highlight, during giving the title. So like impermanence of the world. So while discussing impermanence of the world, we also discuss the permanent nature of the soul. But that is not being highlighted because these all 12 contemplations are, the names are given from the conventional point of view. Okay. So in impermanence of the world, you are supposed to focus on the impermanence of the worldly existence, right? Similarly, in impermanence, anitya, then asharan, okay, without refuge.
Yes.
So in the external world, there is no refuge. Now, in that particular contemplation, refuge of the soul is also being discussed, but that is not being highlighted. So these 12 contemplations have names from the conventional point of view. So for the Lok Bhavna, the name is contemplation on the universe. Contemplation on the universe is Lok Bhavna.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So initially in the first chapter itself, we have given 12 names. What are the good names? So if you refer to the first lecture, you will be getting all the 12 names. And every bhavna also we have mentioned these names. So still I will share it. I think I had shared one time, right? And I'll be again sharing it, the exact names for each of the contemplations. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है।